Hey, what's going on, guys? So today I had an idea to recreate a animation from a really popular game called Fortnite. It's the #1 Victory Royale after you win a match that shows up across the screen, and it has a really cool animation, so I thought it would be fun to redo and maybe show you guys how it's done. I was thinking about recording the whole thing, but I think it's going to be about a 2-hour project, and I didn't know if people would want to see a 2-hour video, step-by-step tutorial, or just a speed through. So I think the best way to do this is I'm going to go in Illustrator and trace everything, get the objects that I need, and then I'm going to be going into Flash or Adobe Animate, and then that's where I'll be having all of the special effects and animation done. Here's the animation from start to finish. I'll let this play through. And that's it. It's a really fast animation, maybe 3 or 4 seconds long. It could run a little bit longer with that glare that's on the #1. It rotates pretty slowly, but we'll play with all that when we get there. The hardest part is going to be this triangle texture right here, but I think I have an idea of how to do it. So I'm going to finish recording this, and then I'm going to do a time lapse of me tracing everything, and then talk to you guys again, and then I'll do another time lapse of the animation, and then show the final animation when it's finished. So I think that does it, and I'll talk to you guys in just a few. Alright, I'm back. So here we go. Here's the final, and it turned out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. I think it looks really close to the original. This one is the one that I made. You can tell by all the anchor points and everything. And here is the original. So now the next step is I'm going to copy all of these. These are just the straight objects, and I'm going to put them into Adobe Flash, or what is now Adobe Animate. So let's do that, and I'm going to start the animation, and then I'm going to go into another time lapse. So we'll grab these. Here is that triangle effect. These two triangles right here. These are what I was talking about. That's going to be a really difficult thing to do, and I'm going to show you the start of how I plan to do them, and hopefully it works out. I think it should, and then after that I should be able to start the time lapse. So here we go. That is the triangle effect that I'm talking about. And they kind of start in the center, and then they work their way out, but it's really fast. I think that just that transition for the banner is maybe a quarter to half a second long, probably closer to a quarter second long. It happens so fast. Oh, and then also I want to mention is that blue glare that goes across the banner, and then how it has the white on those triangles. So I'm going to have those two, and I also have that mask ready. So this is just going to run across the banner, and then I'll mask it to that banner shape right there, and then I'll have it run across. So let's copy everything over, and then we can get started. Alright, here we go. Now we're in Animate. I had to cut the video because it was taking too long to copy and paste from Illustrator to Adobe Animate. It's whenever you have a blur effect, which is how I did this glare that's behind the banner, it'll really make your programs run slow, especially if you have a lot of glares or a really complex object that's oh, not glare, blur, sorry. When you have a really complex object blurred, or you have a lot of objects blurred, it can be a pain. It can be really hard for your system to run for some reason. Excuse me, especially when you're copying from one program to another. So just cutting back to this, and I actually am re-recording this because the video that I recorded earlier got screwed up. So I want to make sure that you guys see how to do this triangle, or how I'm doing this triangle effect. And I think I showed you guys what the triangle effect is on that background banner. So that's what I'm going to do really quick. So we're just going to group this banner, put it behind everything, still in front of that glare behind. Okay, so the way that I am going to do this triangle effect, and I know that it works because I already did it, but I'm showing you guys how I started it off, and I was actually shocked on how well it works. When I was first doing this, I had no idea. So I need to isolate this object, and then that'll make it so I can manipulate this shape a lot easier, just to turn it into a shape tween. I could have created this object in Flash or Animate and not had to do this, but I'm just used to creating everything that I need in Illustrator and then transferring over to Flash. So since I did that, I need to isolate the layer for some reason, and then just cut it, make a new layer, paste it, Control-Shift-V will paste right in front of where it was. I'm going to convert this to a shape tween, this layer down here. So now that triangle is set up to a shape. This one is still on its own layer. And see how it doesn't have that texture on the inside, but this one does? That's why I need to isolate this triangle. So I'm isolating this triangle by double clicking it. So now it's isolated. I have it selected, Control X to cut. Now I'm going to go back up here to the shape tween, F6, to add a frame. I think I did 16 or 15 frames. So I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger, medium, so then we can see. So yeah, there I'm on 15 frames. I'm gonna Control-Shift-V to paste that old triangle right there. So it's lined up horizontally, but I need to line it up vertically. So there, it's lined up vertically. Control-X. I was just keeping this triangle there for alignment, so delete that, Control-Shift-V. Now we're going to get this effect, and I need to close it off. But something that I explained in the video that was screwed up is that you need to, when you're messing with shape tweens, there's a lot of problems you have to work around when you're dealing with animation in general, but definitely Animate, Adobe Animate, Flash, you just have to do some adjusting and do some problem solving. So that effect is really nice, and that's what I'm looking for. But I noticed that when I try and close that gap that's in the center, the animation wouldn't fill smoothly like it's doing right now. So I just made a new frame, and I'm going to cut one of these out, Shift F5 to cut it back to stay at 15 frames. So on the 15th frame, I'm going to grab my direct select tool, and then, so this is just an extra frame that I'm getting rid of this centerpiece on. Delete. And there, now it should be full all the way there. Okay, so now we have our first triangle pretty well done. I need to cut this layer, cut layer, Control F8 to make a new symbol. We'll call that triangle. Okay, paste layer. I can trash that layer, and then there it is. Now if I go back to the stage, come over here, I have this banner separated from everything, so I'm going to make a new layer on top, and now I'm going to grab our triangle symbol that we just made. Not sure why it went over there, what's going on. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to put this on here. And another problem that I already experienced and explained, but I will again, is what masking is doing is that whatever layer is below the mask, you're only going to see what's behind the objects on the mask layer. So I am making this mask green. When I mask it, the only thing that you'll see is where the green is showing up, and that'll be better seen once I do it. But I need to go into this layer, and for some reason with shape, or this symbol rather, and for some reason when you're dealing with shape tweens and masks, I noticed that you have to select this tween. This is a tween. I also explained that. So irritating that I lost that video, but it's but it's okay. So anytime that you're going from one position to another or one gradient to another, that's called a tween. And you just set up these kind of checkpoints. So it's starting at this checkpoint. Whoops, I wired the frame. So this is checkpoint 1, this is checkpoint 2, and then the program is just intelligently saying go from point A to point B. So that could be with colors, that could be with position, gradients, anything like that. So with this one, we're doing the fill. So I need to select this tween and then right click on it and convert to keyframes. And now that mask will run smoothly on the stage once I do the mask. But if I didn't do the convert to keyframes, that fill effect would go away and it would just go from empty to full, one frame to another, empty, full. And we want that nice gradual fill. So now we're going to, where was I? Oh, mask. Okay. So now we got the mask set up. So now see how it got rid of the rest of the banner. So it's only showing where that green is showing up. So now what I do is I need to make a ton of these triangles and line them up, and that's especially what the next time lapse is for, and you'll see that. So I'll throw a few of these, and it's cool because you can squish it, you can resize this since it's a separate symbol. You can grab the edges and then you can skew it. So I'll just resize this one, make it a little smaller. I'll have this one separated up in a corner. I'll copy another one, I'll put it underneath. And this is how I'm going to do this effect. And it turns out looking awesome. I was really happy with how it turned out. So there's that. And I'll set up a loop. I need to lock that, show the mask, set up a loop. And here we go. Whoops. Awesome. So there is the triangle effect, and I think it turned out looking great. Once I have the full animation done, which you guys will see after the next time lapse, I'm really happy with it. Just have to animate the Victory Royale and #1 text and the glares that are behind the banner on the #1, and that one that comes across the banner, that blue and white one. The white one only shows when it hits those triangles on either side, and that teal goes across the whole thing. But comes together really nicely, and I'll show the time lapse and I'll get back to you guys in just another minute. Whew, we got it done, guys. So here is the final #1 Victory Royale animation remade from Epic Games Fortnite, and here we go. Bam. That's it. That was about a 3.5 hour process. All together, not including the spaces in between and dealing with recording and all of that fun stuff, editing. I had no idea how much time has to go into editing videos and trying to put these whole things together and get them complete. So way new, higher respect for that. What else was I gonna say? 3.5 hours. I mean, I think that pretty well does it. I'm finished with the animation. If you liked this video, then send me a comment. Let me know what else you guys would like to see. This is a horrible video for learning from. I was bouncing all over the place, getting used to recording and editing. But if that's something that you would like to see, or if you feel like it would help you, then let me know. And maybe I'll try and throw together a tutorial in the future and do a step-by-step process with a much longer video and simpler focused version on getting some cool stuff done in these programs. I think that does it. Thank you guys so much for viewing, and I will be putting up some new videos soon. Take care.